to that Clare Saffron and Blue plan because it might have flown under the radar a small bit. So this is Clare GAA's 5-year plan. I believe it was put together by an independent body. So it was a wide-ranging review of Clare GAA, and I'll just go through some of the main things on it. It was circulated to clubs, I believe, last night, and I believe it pulls no punches, describes the county centre of excellence at Caherlohan as not fit for purpose, and claims the administrative structure in Clare is not reflective of a vastly changed operational environment. So just going down through a few more of it here, regarding the centre of excellence, it says the focus is for Caherlohan to provide excellent training facilities for all teams of both codes. Existing facilities lack the most basic training infrastructure that is needed to prepare a team. What is built is not fit for purpose. Grass pitches are unplayable for large portions of the year. Dressing rooms are too small. It takes 2 of the existing dressing rooms to accommodate either of the senior panels. The gym is too small. At 130 metres squared, it can't accommodate a full panel. The non-training aspects, including meeting rooms, catering, video analysis, etc., can probably be greatly improved. The whole site is completely underdeveloped with gravel roads, no landscaping or tree planting. Now, that's a fairly damning indictment of what's supposed to be a centre of excellence. And just going down here to it a bit more, it just says that 42% of the Clare GAA public and Clare GAA club members rated governance as the priority area for attention within the plan. So that's what 2 of every 5 people think that there may be an issue with governance within the county. And it just says that today, in its assessment of Clare GAA government structures, the SPG document states that those to date have been largely based on a traditional approach to managing operations. They are not reflective of a vastly changed operational environment. This operational shift is now manifestly evident in how the business of sport functions, financial requirements, games development focus, and the facilities required to operate a Tier 1 GAA county. So that's fairly hard-hitting stuff. Like, it's essentially... it's saying that the centre of excellence is not fit for purpose and is essentially a wreck. And it's saying that the county board and how they operate and do their business is not been done prudently in the modern era. And that's the anecdotal evidence that me and you are getting from Clare people on the ground. But to see it, there in print is fairly startling. To see what happens now as a result of those findings will be really interesting.
Yeah, you're basically saying that Brian Lohan and all the other managers at the different levels are operating with one hand tied behind their back, and that the chances of, like, Clare aren't being given the best possible chance to win an All-Ireland title. So Limerick have obviously turned things around massively, a lot down to volunteers, but obviously there's been money pumped in there too. And look at what's happening now, and the conveyor belt will continue to churn out really good players. Some counties are really at the forefront of this, and it's no surprise then when they do so well. So for Clare to kick on to the next level, this needs to be sorted, and quickly. And it is really, it's shining a light on the people who have overseen what the money that has been spent in Caherlohan in the last few years. Because, you talk to people anecdotally from Clare, and they've been hugely frustrated about this for years, and how the money's been spent and who's done what and all that kind of stuff, which of course, because of the defamation laws in Ireland, which are unbelievably punitive. It's the North Korea of the world around here. You're not going to say too much about the people that are supposed to be, at fault here, if you want to look at it that way. But really and truly, it just makes you wonder, number one, where could Clare be at right now if things were done well? And how many other teams are kind of under this same sort of, or counties are being held back this way? Because they're multi-million euro businesses, all of them. And in a lot of cases, the wrong people are kind of holding the reins.
Well, a lot of that is saying now is, there's so much money. You talk to any county secretary now, volunteer or paid, they will say about the crazy amount of money that is passing through their hands, essentially, in order to run their county's activities. So, like, if you don't have people with fairly serious business acumen to run a business, the business is going to fail. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you were running a business, and you don't run it prudently, you're going to go bankrupt. That's just the way it is. And I'm not saying Clare are going bankrupt or anything like that, but definitely their investment in Caherlohan, you would have to say the money invested, they are not getting any dividends from it. And God only knows how much money is needed to bring it up to standard based on what this kind of independent review has said. And then a lot of that would probably come back to personnel and people involved at board level. So recommendations have been made here. But unless there's a personnel or new personnel brought in maybe to help the current personnel that are there, you don't envisage that changing, because it's a pure mentality and a culture change, really.
Yeah, it's true. Pure Hatchet says, would a live podcast be in the pipeline? Well, we're live at the moment, so can you specify what you mean exactly, Pure Hatchet, and like what time of the week are we talking about, what cover and what? Just be interested to know what you mean there. Let's see, Patrick Hickey said, it's shining light on people who have not done what's right for Clare GAA. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, but there's an awful lot in that. Let's move on to
just on that chain quickly.
Yeah,
I remember saying, I said I was chatting to Donald Maloney not too long ago, that he was the former giant manager of Clare with Jerry O'Connor from 17 to 19. And he basically said Clare don't have, problems with their senior teams in the short term. It's the medium term that they have the problem with. It's that there could potentially be a lost generation of players if they're not careful. Now, they're trying to arrest that. But if young players and even senior players, if they can't see that what's going on in the county is to a really high level, and then you hear about everything that's going on in Limerick and elsewhere, you can get demoralised and a bit disillusioned as well. So I'm not sure. It's going to take probably quite a lot financially, and it's going to take a lot of new personnel, I would say, helping out to turn this around. But there is no reason why it can't be turned around. I saw it, in my own county. We were all over the place 2 years ago. I have no issue in saying that whatsoever, because they know what was going on, and things have turned around remarkably quickly. So there's no reason why that can't happen in Clare or anywhere else. And I'm not saying we're perfect. We're far from perfect, and we're always improving. But Clare, there's definitely significant improvements needed.
If you enjoyed this piece of content, please follow us on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, which helps the channel grow. And if you want audio podcasts, go to patreon.com/ourgame.